Here we go, week number 14 in the NFL, actually the 15th pick for Circa Survivors, 13A, 13B in the rear window. We started with 900 then, all the way down to 45 now, and we could have more craziness on our hands. One team with over half of the selection, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at 7.5-point favorites over the Saints.
The pressure for this contest is officially on. Tickets have skyrocketed in value. Let's check in with a few of the remaining contestants to hear their weekly sweats and strategy.
I don't look ahead. I will not look at future weeks other than like making sure I'm not touching teams for holidays or certain things like that. I have a rule. I don't start looking at my picks until Tuesday. Even if I'm not on the Monday night team, I do not look at them until Tuesday. What I do is on Tuesday, I usually take and I try to like narrow my list down to like my top 5 teams that I'd be interested in. And then I start my studying.
I've spent a lot of time looking at everyone else. And I have a feeling that this group of 45 people are pretty clever. They were the ones who took the dogs and had the guts to do that on Thanksgiving. I think a lot of them will try to make moves to try to decimate the pool and keep themselves separated from a lot of people. So it's going to be some sort of a strategy between being a little bit aggressive, but certainly not being conservative.
Week number 14, 45 left. There was the absolute carnage there over Thanksgiving week. We head into 14 with the number 1 selection with over half the field on them. The Bucs, 7.5-point favorites.
Yeah, and it's going to be scary because we'll be down to just a handful of entries left if they can't pull this thing off.
And if they do go down, can you imagine the value of every single ticket? 7 figures.
Well, these people, they're already smelling the money that they've gotten to this point, but yeah, I would like to be on the right side of that thing. What is happening in this Bucs game right now? They have to win. They are the overwhelming pick this week. If they don't win, I don't know what's going to happen.
But that's the beauty of this contest. You've got to make 18 picks plus the 2 on the holidays to get to 20 picks, and no week is certain.
Well, week 14 early was brutal. We went in with 45, and we had a lot of people knocked out. We're down to 11 right now. We're just in the first quarter of the afternoon games. We only had 4 that have made it through so far, and we have seven playing right now on 4 different teams. Currently, Broncos are tied. Currently, Rams are losing. So this may come to an earlier conclusion than maybe what we thought even a few weeks ago. Between Thanksgiving and today, it has been a real whirlwind. A lot of gut-wrenching losses here.
We're down to all single entries, and we're down to 9 men and 2 women. Also very interesting. The best case scenario is 11 remain, 1.7 million each. So from last Wednesday, Drinksgiving, Friendsgiving, whatever you want to call it, that Wednesday to this Sunday, we go from a ticket being worth 20,000 to 1.7 million. That's the nature of Survivor.
At this stage of the game, people are really trying to monetize their entry. And when you only have 11 people left, there's a possibility for a chop. There's a possibility for people to monetize through betting against their entry, whether that's the point spread or the money line. There's so many different ways people are going to be playing things here over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. We still have another holiday week to play, so there's so much at stake, and it's been really fun and exciting to follow the contest. There's so many great storylines, and I'm just excited to kind of see what transpires here over the next couple weeks.
As we get deeper into the Circa Survivor season, it's also hedge season. It's that time where you want to come in and you want to guarantee profit. So if you've got an entry that is accrued in value from that original $1,000 at the start of the season, and after KO after KO after KO, it's worth $100,000, you might want to come out to Vegas. You might want to come out and play against yourself. That's right, you pick the Green Bay Packers to advance. Well, maybe you want to put some money on their opponent at plus 400 so that you can guarantee you're going to monetize your ticket. That is what a hedge is. It's taking some of the value, some of the equity that you've built up and putting real money against yourself so you can guarantee a profit.
We come into week 14 with 4 different players having multiple entries. We will leave week 14 with 0 players having multiple entries. Still 4 weeks left of the NFL season, but 5 weeks left of the Circa Survivor contest, with Christmas being its own standalone week. Will we make it to the end now becomes the big question.
you haven't had 7 heart attacks playing Survivor already, you're probably lucky, right? I mean, like, we've all been through it. It's stressful as hell. I think Gil Alexander says it best. It's no matter how much you're betting, no matter how many contests you're playing, and no matter how much daily fantasy you're playing, this contest at a certain point, if you're in it, just starts consuming so much of your thought process. And it's hard when we get here to a point where we're at now, past Thanksgiving, only 11 entries left. It's hard not to think about that being a bad thing, right? You're almost doing the right thing. You need to be thinking about it that much if you're going to survive at this point and give yourself a chance at that final push. And you need to be willing to adjust every single week depending on what's happened and where teams are now sliding in your power ratings, sliding in market ratings. You need to be able to adjust for those teams and replan out the season. I'd like to say we'd all be here at the end, but I'm not even sure because you can't control what happens on the field, right? You can plan as much as you want. You can't control some of these outcomes.
There's a very real, about a 50-50 chance we'll have a sole survivor, and we won't get to the end, or we'll get to the very last week and there'll just be one.
All right, here we go. Week 15 in Circa Survivor. Mike, 10 remaining in the shenanigans. Yeah, I'm calling them shenanigans. Continue of people revealing who they are going to pick this week.
Some people call them shenanigans. Other people call it game theory, where Circa's now putting out who everyone has left. Yeah. People want islands. They want the 18.7, Matt.
I lost 3 last week, so that's rough. I could have lost 4. So I got 1 with 10 left. Not much more you can ask for than that.
And essentially only 3 games matter today. We got 2 in the morning going on right now. The Jets are kind of trying to hang around the Jags right now. You got the afternoon in the 49ers. That's going to be interesting. Can they get it done against the Titans? At this point, you have to walk away with money. You got to get your money now, especially before we get to the Christmas week, where one game is completely out. Another game is half out. Nobody has Detroit available, which is insane. And then the other game you have Dallas. So I mean, you have to get your money now.
We enter week 15 of Circa Survivor with just 10 entries remaining. Nobody with more than 1, and the mind games began here in week 15 as well. 7 of the 10 entries revealed who they were going to pick before we got to Saturday. They all told the truth. Everybody played it straight, but that doesn't mean they will moving forward. The Jaguars are #1 pick, rocking chair win for them in the early slate. The Eagles, the 3rd choice, rocking chair win for them. 3 remaining on San Francisco 49ers out of a bye as we head into the afternoon slate here in week 15.
And the 49er game kicks off in a couple minutes. So hopefully we get all 10 through in week 15.
We got 10 people left, 4 more picks. I mean, who knows? None of this is going to be easy. Are we going to get 1 winner, 4 winners? Are all 10 going to get through? What's going to happen here in Survivor?
We finally got a non-holiday week where we don't have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teams. All the entries, and they're all single entries on 3 teams.
All double-digit favorites.
I don't remember, when was the last time that happened in the NFL? After year 1, we've had between 2 and 8. Chop between 2 and 8 in Survivor. What's your over-under right now? We got 5 picks to go.
Well, the one thing I think we've learned is the very last week of the season is generally a pretty easy week. We've had, the one year we had 35-0, they went 35-0.
Yeah, but last year 10 out of 18 were eliminated. Yeah, generally nobody gets eliminated on the last week.
I think Christmas this year, based upon availability and the games, is going to be very, very difficult. If I had to put it over under right now, 1.5.
I go 2.5. I'm going to go 2.5. How many people can get to Dallas? I think Dallas is a pretty decent play on Christmas.
Again, unprecedented week we're in right now. The value of these tickets are essentially 1.8 million, and we have 5 picks to go. We still have a Christmas week. Does this make it at Christmas? Does this go the distance? I think this also could be a year where we see 1 winner. I mean, we're getting down to those numbers, so it's insane. That's why this contest is so great.
Yeah, we experienced a few weeks like that where the favorites were supposed to win and they didn't. It's just football. And that's what makes this Survivor so fun, because it's not a no-brainer every time. It's not. You hope it is, but then you have injuries, you have things that happen, and it is what it is.
Honestly, we just took it week to week and tried to pick a good team every week. I mean, we weren't necessarily trying to save Jacksonville in particular because, obviously you look to save teams for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're actually going to use them this week. We were debating, obviously amongst the other teams, but I think Jacksonville is where we're going.
Jacksonville, San Fran, and Philly have such close win probabilities. If I knew, for example, that all 5 available other than myself was on San Fran, I would never go San Fran. I would pivot to Philly. So telling it lets others know, and they're now more incentivized to go Philly and Jacksonville. And we ideally, which would benefit everyone, we get a 3-3-4 kind of breakdown.
Once you make it deep, on top of the money starting to get real, there are some perks along the way, by the way, from Derek. It's an open invite to come out every single week, hang out, sweat the games here at Circa, private booth right up there. And we've been fortunate enough to talk to some people who've taken advantage of all of that, but it's kind of the unspoken bonus here of making it deep in the contest.
This is gonna sound maybe too warm and fuzzy. There's something cool about having an experience with some other people and in a way celebrating that. I kind of want to celebrate with people. I want to celebrate at the party, get a big check, get a jacket. There's kind of some glory in that. There's a few people who are buying a lot of entries. I'm gonna root for the underdog. Let's go for the one who only had 3. I had 5. I'll never have more than 5. I want either the 3 or a woman. So this year's loss for me was different than last year. The internet got to see, a million people watched my loss last year. This year, anticlimactic, nothing special. It hurts because when you're a regular Joe and you love football and you love strategy and you make it somewhat far, it's just a heartbreaking day.
Next week, you've got one double-digit favorite.
Only 3 of our Circa Survivors have that double-digit favorite.
And Buffalo might be a double-digit favorite.
Yeah, they're 9.5 on the early line.
So only four people have a big favorite available next week. And then Christmas, we're going to eliminate half of what's ever left, probably.
Yeah. Next week, a little bit dicey. We got Buffalo, and then we got the double-digit favorite of the Texans. Yeah. Only 3 out of the 10 have that, and then we go to Christmas. And what's interesting about Christmas, 5 out of our 10 remaining Circa Survivors have Dallas available. But after that, 1 is Kansas City, and after that, it's dogs. It's just dogs. No one has Detroit left. No one has anyone. They're going to be forced to take either the Vikings or the Commanders?
We always hope that the NFL puts 3 games on Christmas because it's hard to make a 2-game week, but essentially it's going to be a 2-game week as far as the picks go.
All right, Mike, week 15, all 10 advanced. Now, Christmas is looming. Remember that. There is another island week out here that is the wrinkled 18 weeks in the NFL, 20 weeks in the Circa Survivor contest, so people still have to think about that.
Most NFL teams would love to be 17-0. As a survivor, you still got 3 more games to go.
I can't recollect a Sunday where it's ever been this smooth. Now, maybe everybody's earned it because there's been a lot of sweats this year.
As we look ahead to week 16, only 3 of Circa Survivors have the Texans available. They'll be the big favorite on the week, probably the only double-digit favorite in week 16. We have 1 entry that does have the Bills. They will be a big favorite. We will have 7 that have the Eagles available. Likely the next selection whenever we get into week 16.
All right, here we are, week 16. We got all 10 through last week. Now this week, what gets interesting, out of the 10 remaining Circa Survivors, 5 different football teams were selected.
Houston is the obvious pick, I believe, this week. No game is comfortable. I know they're the biggest shot on the board, maybe a 90% win probability, but when the stakes are this high, there is no comfortable feeling no matter how big of a favorite you have.
In the early window, we've got 2 on the Saints. We got Caveman and Brad Lee on the Saints. We also have 1 on Buffalo in the early window, and that's C3 picks. So we've got 3 Circa Survivors going in the early window. Then a little bit later this afternoon, we're gonna have 3 on the Texans, and we're gonna have 1 remaining until Monday night with the 49ers, which adds a whole nother level of strategy, whether you win and get through today or whether you're on the 49ers tomorrow.
I think the contest has sort of played itself kind of out in the last couple weeks with, what people were going to take with Philly, what people were going to do with the Texans. I think we saw a couple people deviate and take the Saints. But I think really the pivot point for what is going to happen in this contest and how many people we're going to end up with at the end really boils down to Christmas and this Dallas versus Washington game.
All right, here on Sunday mornings at Circa Sports, takes a lot to get this Circa Survivor contest going, and we want to take you back behind the scenes now. Rob Tatka is going to show you what goes on to getting all these screens up and running so you guys can watch football and have a good time.
For us back here, we always want to monitor what are the good games going on in regards to survivors. Whether it's a good game to those who are actually watching it, you know, when you have a Washington team that only has 4 wins, but when it comes to a survivor contest, it definitely is the most important game going on that day. We want to make sure here back in the content room that we are getting that game on sound for those who are experiencing, you know, as we put it, life-changing money. This is the biggest payout in the history of our Survivor contest.
All right, early slate, week 16. We got the one on the Bills. Looks like it's all right. Up 13 points, third quarter. Still a little bit of jeopardy, but looks good. The backup quarterback for the Chiefs, Gardner Minshew, he hurt his knee. Don't know the severity of it yet, but they had to pull him out. So the Chiefs went down, obviously, with the loss of Patrick Mahomes, but now with Minshew out, that really changed the dynamic for Christmas.
There's 3 games on Christmas, so you got a total of 6 teams. 2 of those teams can't be selected because nobody has them available. And the 2 teams that can't be selected are the 2 teams that have everything to play for in terms of Denver and Detroit with playoff seeding and possibilities. All the 4 teams that are going to be selected are effectively eliminated from the playoffs and have nothing to play for.
It's going to be real interesting to see how many people got their credit lines going, because I assume there's going to be a lot of Christmas miracle hedging going on.
Mike, week 16, no blood. Easy week. 5 different teams selected, all 5 win. The Eagles, the Texans, the Saints, the Bills, and the 49ers all advance, which means we have 10 entries left in Circa Survivor.
Pretty incredible. We have these bloodbath weeks, and then just clean, just simple, no problem. Everybody moves on, but still multiple picks left.
Guess what, though? The
What?
Christmas week is here.
Ooh, boy.
Do you have the team that you wanted? How did you strategize for all of this? What will come of the Christmas week? We know what happened on Thanksgiving.
We had carnage. Now you're getting into the second holiday week, less teams to possibly select, and a second selection right on the back of it.
All right, Kelly, the second wrinkle in this contest is here, Christmas week, and this is where you really got to decide how you're going to handle this. I mean, we're down to 10 entries. Am I worried about what you're doing? Right. Am I just focused on me? What is going on in these guys' heads right now?
Well, one of these days, I really hope to be trapped in this terrible, terrible position these find themselves in.
Monetize this ticket.
Yeah, oh, what a terrible problem we've got to figure out. I mean, look, you do have to keep track. You got 3 more picks to make, right? You got to worry about who you got left. You got to worry about what others have left. You got to figure out, am I going to go to the window and try to hedge some of these things down the line? I think you need to come up with whatever strategy you're going to utilize and stick to that.
Unfortunately for us, we only have the Commanders and the Vikings left for Christmas. So we gotta likely have to pick an underdog, but you know, we have a lot of favorites left, a lot of good teams, including the Rams, and we still have the Eagles left, we still have the Bills left, so solid teams. And if we're lucky enough to win, probably only gonna be shopping with 4 or 5 people, which would be really nice.
It's very likely that I take Washington, and Washington is very likely to be a dog on Christmas. And so, how does one feel about that? I mean, you can't be fist pumping. You know, like, yeah, I'm so excited about my path. But I'm still like pretty confident that, you know, my entry is still pretty good. But even this week and the week before Christmas, I mean, a lot can change. Like it doesn't take that many entries to exit for the makeup of Christmas to change.
The game theory would be the more information you have, the better off you are making a decision. But at the same time, some of these other opponents that you're playing with, they don't have a lot left at this point. And then, you know, a little bit of your head kind of wonders, like, are they messing with you, trying to get you to play a different team?
We saw something we've never seen before. Contestants were announcing who their picks were in advance. Several of the contestants shared theirs on social media. What is the theory behind this?
It disincentivizes other people to get on that island with me. So that's what we saw the last couple weeks.
How about the head games though? Now people coming out and announcing what team they're going to play.
Love it.
And so far, everyone's played it straight, but you don't have to. It's not in the rules that you have to do that. You could throw out, I'm going to be on Team X and really put in Team Y.
I love this has become a part of the contest. You and I have played so many hands of poker over the years. Let's make it a poker game down the stretch, right? This is what I got. You want to play? You want to call it or what? I love that. I love that that's part of the game. And I have a feeling if I was in this position, I'd be doing the same exact thing.
We all know how the Thanksgiving week game shook up this contest. Now, it's time for Christmas picks.
This Christmas slate, these 3 games, they just look so different. Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, Bronx, Chiefs. These are your options, folks, right?
I do think this is a good reminder. Save as many holiday teams as you can. It's a tough situation to get this far and have to take an underdog in this spot.
Circa Survivor is the biggest legal football contest in the world, and we aren't even close to being done. Every week, every pick, every game, the pressure mounts. One wrong decision can end a season, and one right decision can change a life. As the field grows smaller, the stakes grow bigger. The dream of life-changing money is no longer distant. The legendary blue jacket is within reach. All that's left is to survive and become a champion. Will this be the year one contestant stands alone? Or will heartbreak strike one final time? Now it all comes down to the final picks. Every decision matters. Every snap counts. The quest for 18.7 million continues. Still to come on this season of Circa Survivor, the quest for 18.7 million.
Nothing screams Merry Christmas like an early game that has 60% of all the Circa Survivors on it right now.
Things are really getting intense.
Week 18 is always gnarly because there's so much uncertainty in the air.
We could see something that we've never seen before, where all 6 Circa Survivors are on different teams in the final week of the season.
Standing here, it's almost like you can't breathe because you're waiting on every single play.
You know, just got to make it through this one game first, and we'll see about the rest. But,
buddy!
Oh my God.
Either 5 are going down or 1's going down.
Hey, I'm Chef Barry. I got these giant tomahawks. We're cooking steak and lobster. It's going to be an exciting night at Barry's.
We're about to find out who will win it all. Circa Survivor will end today.
Circa Survivor, the quest for 18.7 million, that's a wrap.